Once upon a time, the story goes that there were orphans who lived together in harmony, knowing how to love each other and tolerate each other. However, since the older brother got married, the brotherly relationship between the two has changed a lot. The sister-in-law and number 39's relationship with her younger brother was not good, but she always used the excuse that the younger sister always harmed her family, so she instigated her husband to hate her and even kicked the younger sister out of the house. When he saw that the couple lived badly and treated him poorly, the younger brother had to wipe away his tears and leave the house. He originally planned to go into the forest, build a small hut, then clear fields to plant corn and rice, and build his own life in the mountains. That day, when the younger brother was engrossed in cutting down trees, it was already dark without him realizing it. Because he did not have time to return to his tent, he had to find a tall tree to climb, and he tied it tightly. I went to a tree branch to sleep. But because he was alone in the dark, and in the middle of the mountains and forests, he had no way to sleep. But he did not expect that the tree stump where he climbed to rest was the place where his 3 children lived. Goblins often gather. They are Venus, and Tiger. When all 3 of them arrived at the regular gathering place, they sniffed and smelled a strange smell. They immediately said to each other, "There seems to be the smell of human flesh around here. Let and number 39's find it quickly, luckily. If you come out, you will have a meal." Hung Tin immediately acted like he was very knowledgeable. He put his hand across his nose and sniffed for a while, then said to his friends, "Wrong. How can you get in here when it and number 39's late at night and quiet?" "It and number 39's probably because you and number 39's so hungry that you and number 39's imagining things like that." "Stop. Now let and number 39's go take a nap to forget about dinner. If there and number 39's anything, we and number 39's discuss it again tomorrow morning." When Tiger and Monkey heard what you said, they thought it was right, so they immediately ignored it. After that, all 3 children leaned against each other, intending to take a long nap, but because they were so hungry, none of them could sleep. So they searched everywhere a bit, but could N and #39's find anything they could stomach. In the end, the 3 of them still had to return to the tree, holding their hungry stomachs, when one suddenly spoke up and said, "Hey guys. It and number 39's nothing. Well, now let and number 39's sit down and tell each other what secrets we know." The 2 remaining goblins of course agreed. The first to speak was the monkey star, who said, "You know, the village on the other side of the hill has a very spacious field, but the villagers there leave it deserted because most of it is deserted. That field never has enough water to plant. But if they knew how to dig up the big banyan tree at the beginning of the village, the water source there would immediately gush out, so they would definitely have plenty of water to irrigate that vast field." Most of the stars said it all. When it was Hung Tin and number 39's turn, he said, "In that same village, there is a house with a tea tree right in the front yard. That house grows a bamboo forest. But among them there is only one bamboo tree. Just 7 burns. If anyone could take that 7-segmented bamboo and make it into a house and number 39's roof, every night, gold and silver from all over, the world would automatically fly in." Finally, it was the Tiger Star and number 39's turn to tell the story, and it also said excitedly, "My story is also in that village. At the beginning of the village there is a house with a small, very deep pond. At the bottom of that pond, if you look in the third layer of mud, you will find a jar of gold. But the main thing is, no one knows the house and its surrounding neighbors. If anyone gets that golden jar, from then on they will become rich beyond the rest of the world." And the secret story of the three goblins finally ends. When they saw that it was already done, they immediately parted ways and each went their own way. When the sky was completely bright, the younger brother immediately found his way down the mountain to the village on the other side of the foot of the hill as told by his father. Pure. He immediately went to the house with a tree planted right in the front yard to ask for a place to rent. Because the homeowner also needed to find someone, he was extremely happy to accept him. Every day, after completing all the work in the field for the homeowner, he climbed into the bamboo forest to find that bamboo tree with only 7 segments. After many days of hard searching, he finally found it. The bamboo tree he found was quite crooked, it only had 7 segments, and was very long so it could n/39 do any business, so even though it was planted a long time ago, no one had yet cut it down. Seeing that, he was secretly happy, thinking that if he asked later, the landlord would definitely let him easily. Then he went to the house in the village to ask for a place to rent. And this house was also very happy to receive him. And it didn't n/39 take long for him to find a small pond with a deep bottom according to the words of one of the 3 goblins on the mountain. He lived there for a few years, then asked the homeowner to repay him by letting him borrow that small pond to raise fish as capital. Because this house had many large ponds, the homeowner immediately agreed. Days of caring among the fish, he often dived to the bottom of the pond to find the jar containing the gold. When the day he found the golden jar, he was extremely happy, so he marked it and waited for the next day to pick it up. At the end of that year, there was a sudden drought for a long time. All water in rivers, streams, and even water in ponds and lakes are all subject to extreme dryness. Plants and trees everywhere also began to wither. Not only that, but the people and number 39's cows and buffaloes also had no place to drink water. The orphan boy suddenly remembered the story he had overheard about the 3 goblins on the mountain, so he immediately went to invite the villagers to dig a well right at the big banyan tree at the beginning of the village. When he saw everyone looking at him suspiciously, he immediately promised that if he could n/39 dig it out, he would pay his entire life and number 39's wages to the village, but if he dug a well and got water, then the villagers would have to pay. It was their responsibility to build a house for him to get married. After thinking about it, they didn't n/39 see any harm, so the village agreed. They tried their best to dig up the banyan tree and number 39's roots, just as he said. Sure enough, when the banyan tree lay down, the silver stream under the tree immediately erupted. From that day on, it kept spewing water, with enough water for the villagers to irrigate the entire vast field that they owned. Abandoned there. At that time, the villagers were very grateful to him, thanking him continuously. Just like the original promise, they discussed and divided the fields for him, then helped him get married and helped him build a house. The orphan also went to the boss and number 39's house to ask for an ivory bamboo plant. The owner immediately told him, The whole bamboo forest is over there. You can cut down whichever tree you like." He only asked for a single bamboo tree with 7 burnt ivory to use as a house rafters. And for 7 consecutive nights, from nowhere came many golden lumps as round as peaches and then clattered in his yard. The orphan boy and his wife were extremely happy to pick up all that gold and put it in the chest. After that, he continued to dive into the deep pond and gradually took the shining gold bars in that jar back to his house. From that day on, the orphan boy suddenly became a rich man on par with other families. The richest in the region at that time. When he heard a rumor that his younger brother suddenly became richer, his older brother traveled a long way to come to visit. When he saw that the younger couple now had a large house and a lot of gold and silver, the older brother was extremely surprised. So he kept asking his younger brother how he could get such wealth so quickly. Because the younger brother was gentle, when he heard him ask, he honestly told the whole story from the time he slept in the deep forest, met the goblins, and then how he got the gold and silver and the house. Hearing what his younger brother said, the greedy brother discussed it with his wife, and both husband and wife immediately found a way. One night, the older brother reached the base of the old tree where the younger brother had slept. He followed suit by climbing to the top of the tree and hiding to wait for the goblins to come. As expected, when it was late at night, the monkey star, the hung star and the tiger star gathered together at the old tree. And they smelled a strange smell and said to each other, "It seems I can smell human flesh around here, let and number 39. Us quickly find something to eat to quench our hunger." Saying that, they immediately split up to look everywhere. When they heard, they said the brother sitting on the tree was so scared that he even urinated without realizing it. And the urine kept flowing down, falling into the pile of dry leaves, making clear popping sounds. Hearing a noise, Monkey Star immediately looked up in the tree and finally discovered his brother hiding there. The monkey immediately climbed up the tree, pulled his brother down by the neck, and called Hung Tin and Ho Tin to come. The older brother was extremely scared and kept begging, but not a single word of his pleas reached the ears of the hungry goblins. Not long after, all 3 goblins swallowed him into their stomachs. Thank you for joining us for today's fairy tale. We hope these stories bring joy and meaning to your day. If you love our channel, please hit the subscribe button so you won't miss any exciting tales. Wishing you a good night and sweet dreams. See you in the next story.